Thank you. Welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you for your movie. It's a wonderful movie, and very happy to introduce all the participants to the press conference. As I told already, the press conference will be held in English, and there will be a simultaneous translation into French. So, ladies first. Mrs. Miruna Berescu, who is not only the producer of all the movies of Emmanuel Parvu, but she is also the co-writer of this movie. Then, still, ladies first. Ingrid Micu Berescu, you know her. She's Ilinka. Then, our dearest policeman, Mr. Valerius Andriuta. The other one, the very particular father, Mr. Bogdan Dumitrach. And last but not least, Mr. Emmanuel Parvu.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Mr. Parvu, as a matter of fact, we know you, but not here in Cannes as a director, but as an actor, because you were in particularly two movies which have been shown here, is Baccalaureate and Tales of the Golden Age.
Yeah.
And this is your third movie. The first one was in Sarajevo, the second one was in San Sebastian.
Yeah.
And my first question is, what was the basis of this script, of this story? Did you base your script on a real true story, or did you imagine everything with Miruna?
First of all, thank you so much for being here, and thanks to Cannes Film Festival for having our film. Thank you, Thierry Fremont, for having this wonderful thing for so many years. Our film was, we started discussion, we're both parents, me and Miruna, and we started a discussion back in 2015 with a rape case in our country, in the countryside, where the whole society from that village turned against the girl and took sides with the rapists. So we were, as our double perspective, both of us still have parents, so we're still we're still children of our parents, and we're parents of our children, so we have this double perspective. And we thought, what if something, God forbid, would have happened to our children? What would be our reaction? What if something was about to harm her? What would be our reaction? And what would be our fight with the society?
And because I didn't introduce your child, I mean the child of the movie, Mr. Ciprian Chuijdea,
Yeah.
Sorry for not having introduced you. How did you arrive on this project? How did you know, and what was the first meeting, and what did Miruna and Emmanuel tell you about this role?
Well, actually, first I came to the casting for a small part, and it happened very quickly. I thought, okay, the small part is okay, and I'm fine with that, but the casting scene was a casting scene between my part and Adi. And reading the script for the casting, I said, well, I really want to try and say the lines of Adi, but okay, I can still play the small part. And after a few days, they called me and said, hey, we liked your casting, but... and that was a big but for me. I said, oh, okay, but we can't take you. But we would like you to come and cast for Adi. And that moment my heart dropped, and I just started crying, and it was quite amazing for me, because Adi is from Tulcea, and I am from Tulcea, and it was quite overwhelming, the whole experience.
Because Tulcea and this particular region of Romania is very important in the script, in the story. And Miruna, I know that, and there is some reference to a film festival in this region. Miruna was the director of this particular film festival. So why did you especially choose this particular region? I understand that you know it very well, but is it a very, as I said, a very particular region in Romania, something special that couldn't be somewhere else being told the same way, in the same way?
Well, it wasn't actually my choice. It helped that I know the village, the place. The festival is called Anonimun, and we've been taking care of it for 20 years, so we kind of know. But I think Emmanuel's history with the place goes far back than my experience.
I know the place from my father, maybe from about 35 years ago, and I've been there basically all my life. All the summers I go there 2 times, 3 times a year. But particularly we needed that place because it's for so many reasons. First of all, it's only accessible by boat, so you cannot get there by car. It's a very remote thing. It's actually 3 kilometers till the earth ends, so the sea starts from there. You have a border, military border, where the village ends, and then it's a no man's land for 3 kilometers, and then the sea starts. So it's actually la fin du monde. And it's a very particular thing for that village because during summertime you have 9 months period of pure isolation. So if the Danube freezes, they give them food with the helicopters because like bread, sugar, oil, up until the icebreaker comes. So if the Danube freezes, that's it. You cannot reach that region. And 3 months a year, it's the summertime, during the summertime, it's the most hipsterish, coolest thing, one of the coolest resorts on the seashore, on the Black Seashore. So everybody comes there. So it's a mixture of far away thing, back in 100 years ago, community for 9 months, and then for 3 months, it's one of the coolest places on the. So yeah, it's a mixture that you cannot find it anywhere else on the Black Sea. So we needed exactly that spot.
And Miruna, as far as I know, it's the first time you co-write the script for Emmanuel, maybe for other people. Did you write anything? No. But as I said already, you've been his producer for all his movies. What were the particular, maybe, difficulties shooting a movie in such a remote place? And how was it financially and technically speaking?
Well, co-writing, I think it's a bit much to say because my input into the script is quite small.
She's so modest. She's so modest.
No, it's just Emmanuel works on his script for a very long time, and a lot of versions. And at the beginning, the story, and if Emmanuel wants to elaborate more on this, it's up to him. The story was a little bit more aggressive than that, especially, I mean, some parts of it, the ending, so where he's very keen on the details of the film, and I'm more interested in the the whole picture of it. In terms of producing Emmanuel's films from the beginning, it was very difficult at the beginning because we started with Meda and or the not so bright side of things with totally independent, totally meaning totally. And it had the debut feature world premiered in Sarajevo and got 2 awards out of 4. So it was a good start. And afterwards, we were able to co-produce internationally with Mikado, that premiered in San Sebastian. With this one, we were working on the script for, Emmanuel for so long, and we were trying to get the finance, but we knew we had to shoot that end of summer. We shot last year in September, October, so that's very short period, up to today, as we speak. The difficulties were in terms of financing. I know very well the place, I know the people, I know the community. So for that, it wasn't as difficult as many would think. It was challenging, let's put it like this, but I think we had such a great team. We worked with the same kind of same team for our films. So I think that worked well and helped a lot.
Thank you very much. We have as well the father here with us, Mr. Bogdan Dumitrach. As a matter of fact, we know you because we, some of us saw the way I spent the end of the world of Cătălin Mitulescu. You, as a matter of fact, you were here to, on the screen with a movie called Traffic, which won the Golden Palm of the best short movie by Cătălin Mitulescu. And then you were, when Evening Falls on Bucharest, on Metabolism, Corneliu Porumboiu, Pororoca, which has been released in France as well. And Radu Muntean, you have such a great filmography. How did you arrive on this movie? Did Emmanuel want you especially? What did he say to you in order to create this particular character, which we do understand all the problems he faces? You have lots of scenes when you have no dialogue, but we do understand what is going on in your head, in your brain, and in your heart especially. How did you prepare yourself to that?
Well, actually, we met at the casting, and it was a normal process to cast an actor, to see not if he's talented, but if you can work with him, if we have a common language, and if we can work well together. As about the character, we talk about a man who's blindly in love with his wife. He's adoring his son, but sometimes out of love with best intention make some terrible mistakes.
Which I understand, but as a matter of fact, you worked together on a movie, Pororoca. You were together, both actors. Did you keep in mind his presence for this particular character for your movie?
Not particularly from Pororoca. Usually, we're a small country. We know each other. We did the same school, each of us. We go to the same theaters. We do the same things. We know each other. As Bogdan mentioned, the casting process is, in my opinion, is to see how you can mingle and how you can mingle a family to look alike, to be one, and how do they fit into one to each other, to each other's minds. So it's a long process not to see. Of course, I know Bogdan from the other films. Of course, I know he's a great actor, but I wanted to see if he's good with Ciprian. If they actually look alike. When they have long curly, if you have the long curly hair on both of them, so yeah, and with Laura as well. So it was a story that I wanted to tell from the aggressor point of view. It was a story that we wanted to say from their side. From in each of our movies, we were on the, as in Meda, we were talking about children from the orphanages. We both had wonderful families, and but we were on the from the society point of view as well. In this film, I was trying to write as a father, and I was trying to say if Bogdan would have fit my part of society, how would I represent through him our society in so many problems. And that's why the casting took so long. It took 4 months or something, almost 5 months. It was a very long process.
We'll come back to the casting, but I know that there is a question. Yes, please.
Bonjour, Gabriela Bravo. Je vais poser la question en français.
I'll be putting my question in
If
French.
you don't understand French.
Gabriela Bravo de Chili pour Culture et Santé. Je voudrais poser la question à Monsieur le Directeur. C'est sur l'image que vous envoyez de la Roumanie parce qu'on dirait que c'est un pays qui est arrêté dans le temps et même éloigné, cette petite partie est éloignée de la capitale, mais aussi on dirait qu'éloigné de l'Europe. Et si ce n'est pas par la mention du prêtre qui parle du Covid, on pourrait dire que ça se passe il y a longtemps par rapport aux mœurs, par rapport à l'acceptation de l'homosexualité et aussi par rapport à la corruption qui sévit dans ce petit endroit. Je voudrais que vous me disiez quelle image vous voudrez vous donner ou pourquoi choisir ces sujets-là. Merci.
Thank you for your question. Our society is doing progress in terms of accepting things. And I think from our position, we can critique the things that are doing not so well. We needed, in my opinion, you can resemble a small family and a whole society around that gathers around the small family. As a society, we wanted to take a macro look from a micro analysis, from doing a story with people that represent the society. We have the law there represented by the policemen. We have the priest representing the religion, actually, and it's a very much it's a big confusion in people's mind in our country between religion and faith. That's a thing that we need to discuss about, and it was a big subject in our rural areas about what COVID vaccine does to people, and you're getting inside a 5G antenna. They're putting a 5G into you. So yeah, I know a film cannot change the world. I know that a film or a book cannot change the world, but I know it can raise questions. It can raise a lot of questions, and I think through the people that have worked in our film, from starting with Silviu Stavila here, that is the DOP of the film, who just imagined this still pictures to let you see, to let you observe on the observational aesthetics. My previous films shot as well with Silviu were with a handheld camera. But right now we imaged that the pace of that film, it can only be done like that. You can observe the society only through a still image, and then continuing with a sound design and engineer here that we worked together for 2 movies, Alex Dumitrach, who imagined that the wind is, in a way, you can resemble it to God. You cannot see it, but you can feel it. It's something that you feel. You cannot see, you cannot touch, but you definitely can feel, and it can give you the shivers. And Alex imagined 16 types of winds that we had over there. And through the production design made by Bogdan Dumitrach, who also had Metronome here presented in a certain regard, the production design was something that we discussed for one year, me and Silviu and Bogdan, regarding the colors, regarding the textures of the characters' costumes, and what we needed inside the production design. So we wanted to observe something in a micro universe which can be expanded to a whole society. But in my opinion, and Ciprian can talk more about this because he's a member of the LGBT community, I think we're doing progresses in our country.
Yeah, actually, I think in the past few years our society moved on, and we are trying to reach the European level of the LGBTQ rights, and we are still afraid to walk on the street at night, maybe in some parts of even the big cities, and yeah, we are proud to have expanded our communities not just by queer folks, but also with a lot of straight allies, and we have a lot of non-profits that fight for our rights, and also not just only queer rights, but also women's rights, people of color rights. And yeah, we are making progress, but it's still quite slowly.
Yes, please.
Réalisateur Moldova à Timpu. Mes félicitations pour toute l'équipe.
Congratulations to the whole of the team.
C'est un sujet très compliqué.
It's a very complicated subject, namely corruption and this isolation.
C'est très compliqué l'imbroglio est-européen.
Complicated to see this imbroglio. But you have managed to convey something that's very important.
M'intéresse beaucoup
I'm
le
keenly
sujet de
interested
la culpabilisation
in
de
the
la
topic
victime.
of
C'est un thème très
guilty
important
feelings
parce que
that
c'est
inhabit the
un
victim.
mensonge
It's a
qui est
lie
encore chez nous et on
which
croit,
people don't talk about.
On croit la mensonge mieux que la vérité.
In fact, people believe
Comment
one
vous
thing, but
avez
the truth
choisi
may
ce
be elsewhere.
sujet-là?
And why did you focus on this
Right,
topic?
we didn't want to make, thank you for your question. It wasn't our intention to make a politically correct movie. It's not about that. If I recall correctly, the wonderful film made by Jonathan Glazer, the Zone of Interest, that premiered here in Cannes with the Grand Prix de Jury, yeah, it was the perspective that he was talking about in his great film, the perspective of the aggressor, because he didn't show. We all know what's happening, what happened in the Holocaust, that terrible, terrifying things
with
that
the
happened
victims.
with the victims. So we all know the problem. But the perspective was absolutely wonderful, and we thought of that in the last year, and we wanted to say a film from the position of the aggressor. I don't know, as I said, I'm not in the position of an LGBT member, so I cannot make a film. If a French guy is here, do you want to make a film and saying in your film about what I feel? Maybe you should make a film from your perspective regarding me. So that's what we try to do with our film. I'm in a so much privileged position. I'm a white male in a European country. I have all the privileges in the world back home. But what if I thought as a minority, in a superficial position anyhow, if we're sitting here on a table and you all think the sky is gray and I think the sky is blue, I'm a minority. But I don't want to be punched in the mouth. I don't want to be punched in the mouth for my opinion, and I surely will want my opinion to be listened, at least listened to. So we wanted to make a film and draw. I think I can point out things that are going bad for the society from here, from my side, and tell my co-fellows, listen, maybe you should think more about this. Maybe we can. I'm sure this world can be a better place. I'm positive, and you can make a better place only through human beings, only through dialogue, only through care, through careness. God didn't tell you. God doesn't say be smart, be like this, do wonderful films. God tells you be good. That's the only thing that God tells us. Just be good, try and do good as best as you can for the others. So yeah, this perspective, as I mentioned, the Glazer film, the perspective in our film is so important, because I cannot say. That's why I think that's why Ciprian did such a great role, because he's in the position of making this particular part. Thank you.
Before giving the floor, I wanted to come back to the actors, and before giving the floor to the purest and the only positive, really positive character, before giving the floor to Ingrid, I would like to give the floor to Valerio, because Valerio, we know you, we've known you for years. You were here with Baccalaureate, you played in the same Baccalaureate as Emmanuel. You were here with several movies. You were here with Sergei Loznitsa's 2 movies as well, Donbass and The Gentle Creature. Sergei Loznitsa, whose movie was shown here the day before yesterday, The Invasion. We saw you even in France, and not only in France, in Le Bureau des Légendes, in the Bureau. So you have a big filmography. And how can you tell us, how did you prepare to this particular very complex character? Because just as for Bogdan, we do understand how it's hard for you to get over all the real things you think, but you must live as well. And how did you prepare yourself?
Good morning. So thank you so much for such a beautiful presentation. Yeah, I got a phone call from Emmanuel when I was abroad, and he just asked me, "Where are you?" And well, I'm preparing now a new film, and I would like to have you on board. We never meet on actually on set physically. We played in some films together, yeah, in 2 films,
yeah,
I think, but we never actually meet each other, yeah, on screen. I know him, he's a good actor, and I saw his films, shorts and features. And I thought, okay, what I want to do, so first of all, casting. And it was a real casting, not just he decide after he saw us. And when I saw the cast, the whole cast, Adrian Titi and Bogdan Dumitrach, I never played with them together, and with Laura Vasiliu. So I said, okay, you be the policeman. The bad one, or not, we'll see. This is not a main character, but
it's one of the key characters.
Emmanuel said, so listen, you have more text than other, more lines than.
That is actually true. When you get the reports from the
final
draft, you see how many lines a character has.
The statistics, and he
yeah,
show me. You have more text than others. Be careful. And we start rehearsals. It was wonderful to have 4 weeks of rehearsals. We met twice, and it was really very good, very well prepared. And my role as well. We tried, we discussed, we tried to understand what moves in my character. What is his targets on the whole process, whole film. And yesterday I have emotions because I didn't saw the film before.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was not so bad. Thank you, Manuel.
By the way, when the movie is getting released in Romania?
I think Miruna can answer this question.
Probably the fall.
The fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then Ingrid, I have two questions for you. The first one is that I don't know how many people have seen the previous movies of Emmanuel, but you played in the two previous movies, so it's not the first time you play with him, where you act in his movies. My first question is how different was Emmanuel on this particular movie compared to what he did before? And the second one is how what did Emmanuel tell you in order for you to be the purest and the very positive character, the only one who is really the only very positive character?
Thank you for your question. I'll start with the first question. This was my first role of like this big. And I didn't expect Emmanuel to be so calm and so relaxed, and he made everybody on set and even in rehearsals feel so comfortable. It was such an amazing experience, and I think we kind of like we owe it to him because he was so different. I've seen him on many sets, even if I wasn't playing a part in his film. And I don't really know what changed, but he was a different person. He was, I don't know, I don't think anybody saw him like a boss or he's the director and stuff like that. No, he was our friend and he was there to help us. And it was amazing. Thank you, Emmanuel. And Emmanuel helped me a lot in rehearsals. He didn't help me to play Ilinga, he helped me be Ilinga. He taught me how to think like her, act like her, because as he said, I'm a privileged girl, teenager from Bucharest, from a big city, and I didn't know how to speak, feel, or act like her. And thanks to him, I think I managed. It was hard at first, but after so many rehearsals, I started getting into character, and it was very nice. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. There is a yes, please.
Mihnea Vonica, Cinemagia Romania. Thank you for this powerful drama. In the film, I feel that we can understand and listen to most of the villagers' perceptions about Adi, but not of his perception. And I think that it's rather through the eyes that you convey emotion rather than through your speech. And my question is to you, Ciprian, considering, if I'm not mistaken, this is also your first feature film, right? So it's a debut, an incredible main character role. If you can tell us more about the rehearsing process with Emmanuel, but also how did you prepare for the role to reach such an incredible performance and to transmit so much emotion? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Well, can I move the microphone?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So we rehearsed all summer, basically, and the process was really tough for me because, as I said before, I am from that place and I have felt that oppression, not on that level, but I've had my challenges growing up in that city. It's a beautiful city, don't get me wrong, but it was a bit tough. And yeah, basically Emmanuel asked me, same as with Ingrid, he didn't ask me to play anything. He just wanted me to understand what happens in the movie, what happens during the scenes, and how does Adi feel. And yeah, it was an amazing process, as Ingrid said, because Emmanuel was not the director. He didn't want things. He didn't demand things. He came with you and pushed you further and helped you get to where he wanted. And it was such a organic process, and it was amazing. And I think it was also a bit easier for me to get into the role, because I just had to live again some of the moments that I lived before, and I just had to come down to my young self and go again through that growing up process, which was, I'm gonna say it harmed me a bit, but it didn't harm me, it just reminded me that I healed from what I lived, and it helped me understand even further what my relationship with my parents, and it made me love them even more, because when I was a child, I was mad at them because they were keeping me from doing what I wanted, but they were just protecting me, and now I see that from my adult point of view. And
it's a very interesting question and a very interesting point of view. As I mentioned before, we did not dare to say, and we didn't want it to say a story from his perception, from his point of view. As in previous films, and as mentioned before, I wouldn't dare to enter a territory with so many wounds. I think children from orphanages, I think members from minorities who are treated badly, is such a territory that you cannot enter with your boots like that. You need to take care of that, and you need to talk more with the people, and I can only make movies from our perspective, from my point of view, and if I wanna raise attention to somebody from which I think is wrong in society, I think we can. Yes, we need to hear their point of view, but through my perspective, I'm not in his shoes, and I didn't want, I wouldn't dare to make a story, because then it will be pure fictional. In my opinion, the soul of a person, it's not like you're doing a suit on a tailor. If I have some long sleeve, I went to a tailor, he cuts it off, and then, okay, the suit is perfect. But with the soul of a human being, you cannot cut and throw away pieces. You need gentleness, a lot of gentleness. And the aggressors is us. The society. We are the aggressors. We need to handle things in our side and make it better. And it was, I cried so much during shooting. It was some resemblance that I needed to point out, and I wanted to point out here. The first shot, we wanted to do. I wanted to quote. Eric Romer's Rayon Vert, le fond de Rayon Vert, where the sun disappears. And that, the place of shooting that we did that scene, it was the place where my father took me. It's when the Danube meets the sea there. And my father died 4 years ago, and in our film, when the characters are exiting the frame, it's like a reverse from the Romer shot. The sun just pops up in the frame, and me and Sylvie were so emotional. And Sylvie came up to me and said, "I think it was your father here doing this shot. You cannot do these things up." And the thing that we discussed, and I don't know how many of you notice it. In the shot when Adi leaves his room forever, there's two things on the left and right on the wall. There's the religious thing that his mother put him, and a poster of a band. When he looks at us,
Yes.
if you compress the look and the poster on the wall, it says, the poster is you too. If he looks at us, as you mentioned,
Yes.
we wanted to say, this can happen to you. You too. That's why he looks at us into the camera. And if you compress his look and you compress the poster on the wall, you get to this question, you get to this sentence, you too. This can happen to you too when you're a minority.
Thank you very much. This press conference came to an end. Thank you, Valeriu, Ingrid, Ciprian, Bogdan, Miruna, and particularly, thank you, Emmanuel Parvu.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you for that. And just want to mention the guys from the Romania that helped our delegation to be here, the National Center of Cinema, the Institute of Culture, the Ministry of Culture. Thank everybody that helped our team to be here and in these conditions. Thank to the festival. Thank you for such a wonderful press conference. And thank le Festival de Cannes, Thierry Frémont, and le Comité de Sélection du Festival de Cannes. Thank you again, and hope to see you another time.
For sure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.